So over there behind us is Carriacou, and that's the main harbour over there that we've just left this morning. We took a buoy for one night, and ahead of us, past these group of islands in the background, is our final destination of Grenada. We will stop on the west coast halfway down today. Our distance to get to where we want to be is about 25 miles. That will get us close to the main harbour in Grenada, which is called Georgetown or George Harbour. The wind is on the opposite side, so we're going to lose the wind when we go down the west coast, but we want to see some of the beaches and the bays on the way down because we've got guests coming out in a few weeks, and we want to have a look at what they look like as a place to stop as we come up to Carriacou. Got a lovely day, and our stop for tonight will be our penultimate stop before tomorrow getting into Spice Island Marina. These are a group of islands with a volcano in the sea, under the sea. That is Diamond Rock, that is Ronda, and just in front there is an exclusion zone that we're not allowed to sail in, which is that bit there. Somewhere there. Yeah. That round ring is an exclusion zone because there is an underwater volcano. And she is 3,000 feet deep. That is us. You can see the excursion zone, and then coming down the west coast of Grenada, and that exclusion zone is just there, and it is, I think, let's have a look, that would have changed, 3.22 miles away. So just there, we're not allowed in. Keep out. We do have a yacht on anchor just over there somewhere, and in between Diamond Rock and Ronda is a beautiful looking beach fringed in palm trees. Look at that. We are motor sailing today. We've been lazy. It was a perfect day to get the main out, but we couldn't be bothered. So we've got one engine running and the jib out, and we're cruising down anywhere between 5.5 and 7 knots. And we've got just 21 miles to go. Somewhere on the west coast, we're going to find a bay and drop anchor. Birds flying around us, waiting for the flying fish to come out of the water, and then they go and grab them. But look at those group of islands. They're spectacular. To think 3,000 feet is a volcano underneath us. We think that's the first time we've seen an exclusion zone like that on a chart, other than fishing areas we're not allowed in, but never one for a volcano. We have been fortunate enough to sail into a volcano, which was in Santorini in the Mediterranean. That was about 2 years ago. Now we're going over one, or virtually. It's buried very deeply. We are sailing down the west coast of Grenada. We've got 12 miles to go to George's Bay. But we're going to probably anchor before then. But we're partly sailing downwind, we've got the tide with us, everything's in our favour today. Got one engine and 2,000 revs and a jib out, and we're moving along at 6.5 knots. We have arrived at our final destination after 10 months, 6,600 miles. We are in Prickly Bay, Grenada. This is where we will set out for the hurricane season. Not yet, we've got still some more sailing to do this year, but basically only around Grenada and maybe the Grenadines. Got some people coming out to stay on board for a couple of weeks, and then we'll head back here at the end of June and see if we can get a haul out somewhere. Now there is Spice Island Marina down there, which is where I'm hoping we can get this boat hauled out. However, I sent them an email earlier on in the year and they can get a 450 lagoon out, but they don't think they can get a 46 out because it's 6 inches wider. So we're going to go down there, we're going to measure their lifting crane and see what width we've got to play with, because if we can get it out, that's where I'd rather stay. The airport is just literally behind there. We actually watched the planes take off and land. We were going to stop somewhere on the west coast on the way down yesterday, but in the end we come past George Bay, which I believe is the capital, and just decided, you know what, there's only an hour and a half to go and we'll be at our final destination. So we got here yesterday afternoon, I think about 3 o'clock. We've done a nice dinner, stayed on board, but we're going to lower the tender again today, go down there, see if we can rent a couple of scooters. Not for today, but for the future. Just want to make sure there's scooter hire available here, because if I'm going to spend a lot of time here, especially through the winter, I'm going to need to find an Airbnb somewhere, and I want a bit of transport. But this is where roughly we will be for the next 7 months until December. We can start sailing again in December. We can sail whenever we like, but if we get a named hurricane come along, we won't be insured. So there is nothing to stop us sailing all through the year. It's just that the hurricane season starts on the 1st of June and finishes on the last day of November. So you need to be careful what you're doing sailing around this area. If we go to above 12.7 latitude, yeah, 12.7 latitude north, we're not insured for a named hurricane. It's here in this anchorage, we're insured. Even if a hurricane comes along and takes the boat, we're insured. So this is the southern end of Grenada, Prickly Bay. It's a well-used bay by yachtsmen. In fact, when everyone's got to be out of the hurricane season for the 1st of June, the last day of May, you will not be able to get in here. It is absolutely rammo. At the moment there's plenty of areas to anchor, but I've actually read reports on people that have come here to get out of the hurricane season and they've not been able to anchor anywhere because this is full. to the gunnels. You cannot get another boat in here. There are mooring buoys. You can have a deal. You can stay on a mooring buoy for 275 US dollars a month if you do long-term rental, which most people do, because once they get here, that's it. They pack up for the season, and until November. A lot fly home, which you can walk, I think, from here down the road into the airport. They fly home, leave the boat on a mooring buoy. But yeah, 6,600 miles, 10 months, and we're at our final destination, but we will be leaving here I think on the 13th of June until the 27th of June, doing a little bit of sailing around the area, and then when we come back, she'll be on, hopefully, be on the Hardier somewhere, if not in this marina, if they can't get us in there, then another one further around the bay. But all those boat masts that you see sticking up down there, they're actually on the hard. They're not floating in a marina as such, or floating out on anchor. Those ones right down there, just behind those ones, all those masts you see standing up, they're all sitting in a yard and probably having all their seasonal work carried out, which is what we need to do on this boat. Need to get it serviced again, anti-fouled, same sort of work that we have to do every year. Of course, we did do it last year in Rhodes. So she's only been 10 months in the water. Some people leave it a year and a half, but we've got to get this boat probably up to Fort Lauderdale January, February of next year. However, I may put this boat on the market whilst it's being winterised down here, and then if somebody buys it, we don't have to sail it up to Fort Lauderdale, but that's a long way off yet. But there you go, Prickly Bay, great anchorage. We are in Prickly Bay, Grenada. We're going to head in to Spice Island Marina and have a chat about lifting this old girl out at the end of July and get her prepped and ready for next season. Oh, we need to take the courtesy flag down. We've not been really good with our flags this year, have we? Oh, you're going to go around that way, Dave? Yeah, take a little journey. Yeah, pretty though, isn't it? That's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, we've seen that at Ryan too, and last time we saw her, I think, was Estacia.
Yeah, we've seen a fair few of these boats.
Yeah,
once, haven't we?
Yeah, we've seen that one a few times, that Neil trimarine.
Yeah.
In fact, we only saw that the other day somewhere. Yeah, they're all migrating south, and this is probably the furthest they go. Some might go on to Trinidad, which was originally where our insurance company wanted us to go, but I didn't want to go to Trinidad. There's too much thieving and robbing going on. They go on people's boats and just steal whatever they want, including their tenders. So Trinidad and Tobago, the locals that are robbing off of the yachtsmen, they're not doing their economy any good, because we're deciding not to go there this year. Is that Shaddy Lady?
Shaddy Lady.
She is well shaddy. I know, look at the state of her.
Yeah.
She's rotten as a pear. Mind you, there's not so many boats here that, like, there was in Tyrrell Bay. Was it? No, not Tyrrell Bay. Where was we?
Yeah, Tyrrell Bay.
Was it Tyrrell Bay?
No. Yes, it was, wasn't it? Where all the masts were down.
Yeah.
Tyrrell.
Tyrrell, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyrrell Bay, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, where we cleared into customs in Carriacou. You do what you want. Yeah, the boats look a bit more well preserved here, don't they? Yeah, it's quite large. You wouldn't believe it gets full up to the point where you can't get no more boats in.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Apparently, come June, when the hurricane season starts, you can't move down here. Well, that was 25 only last year. If it's going to be any different than 26, I don't know.
It's big up yard, isn't it?
We are at our buddy's son's place. We just met Lucas. So yeah, Lou, we just met your boy. Lovely lad. And one of the guys he works with, they think they're fully booked for this season, but they're going to see what they can do for us. Well, that travel lift is gigantic.
Yeah.
So this is the yard where your son works, Lou. And it is a very, very big yard. The amount of earth they've had to move out of here, all the way around there, look, to get this level. But it might look a bit empty at the moment, but apparently July and August this yard is fully booked. There's the marine chandlery. Yeah, that is one big lift. That is gigantic. That boat down there looks lost, doesn't it, Dave?
It does.
Look at the size of that one they've lifted out.
It's a trawler, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I have no idea where this has come from. It was beautiful just a second ago. We've had two new boats turn up today. That catamaran and that monohull. The anchorage is starting to get full. I've been here just over 2 weeks and there's definitely a lot more boats here. Well, this downpour has just come from nowhere. How wonderful is this beach? This is the Sandy Bar restaurant in Prickly Bay, Grenada. Reality is somewhere right over the back there somewhere. amongst all these other boats that are on anchor. This restaurant and hotel is called the Aquarium. It is the first few days of June and this anchorage is starting to fill up. A few more catamarans coming over the last couple of days as people finally get to their final destination from the sailing season. Some people out there having a bit of fun. Can't anchor over there because there is a reef where those waves are coming around. Get a few people surfing over there during the day. I've definitely had a few more boats come in since the end of May. There is no anchoring over there. There's a reef that runs through the centre here, down, just beyond these boats that are on anchor. But we have definitely had a few more boats turn up in the last few days, so we are starting to get busy in this anchorage. What's nice about this bay is there's 3 or 4 places to stop for lunch and also evening entertainment. Nice day today, a bit windy but nice. But the marina and the anchorage are starting to get full.
Crawling, and I'm all alone. I head for the highway, baby, to please my restless bones, my restless bones, restless bones.